Today, let us talk about something important happening in China. And this is not hype, it is a real shift in global trade. On December 18th, 2025, China officially launches its full island customs operation in Hainan. And that date matters because it is the same day China began its economic reform back in 1978. Back then, China opened itself to the world and global trade changed forever. Today, the world looks very different. Trade is becoming more fragmented, more political, and more restricted. While some countries are putting up walls, China is changing how trade flows. We see this every day as a China based sourcing agent working directly with factories and global B2B buyers. So let me explain what this policy really means in simple terms. Hainan is now treated as a special customs zone, and the idea is straightforward. It is open to the global market, controlled when goods move into mainland China, and flexible inside the island. China describes this as opening the first line, controlling the second line, and allowing free circulation inside. The first line is the connection between Hainan and the rest of the world, where most goods can now enter with zero import tariffs unless they are on a restricted list. Zero tariff coverage jumps from about 21% to roughly 74%, increasing tariff-free products from around 19,000 items to about 66,000, including most production equipment, raw materials, and key components. In practical terms, this makes it much cheaper to bring materials and machinery into China through Hainan. The second line is the connection between Hainan and mainland China, and this remains controlled so tariff-free goods do not flood the domestic market. This means Hainan is open outward but carefully managed inward. Inside the island, goods are no longer locked into traditional bonded zone rules, allowing companies to move, use, process, and combine goods more freely. Hainan is also being used as a testing ground where new trade, tax, and regulatory rules are introduced first and then scaled nationwide if they work. Over time, Hainan is being positioned as a major gateway connecting China with global markets, and even conservative estimates suggest this setup could support trillions in annual trade value. But this is not just about moving more goods, it is about upgrading the structure of trade itself, bringing manufacturing, logistics, finance, and digital services together into one system. In real business, one successful company never stands alone because it pulls in suppliers, attracts service providers, creates logistics demand, and brings in talent. That is how places like Shenzhen grew. Not because of one factory or one industry, but because entire ecosystems formed around smart policy decisions. Hainan is being built with the same thinking. And this is not a short term move, but a long term structural shift in how China plans to stay connected to global trade as the global system continues to change. If you want to understand how China's supply chain really works, follow SourcingXpro.